Good evening, everyone. Good evening to all of the parents and children, officials who were gathered here this afternoon. We are in St. David's, and welcome to all of our viewers online. Thank you for joining us. My name is Magdalene Kuman, and I will be moderating the session this afternoon. I am a volunteer with QSO International, and it's an international development organization that's currently working on a project called the Blueprints Project in Grenada. So I'll be your host along with my colleague, Miss Loris Pascal, who will be joining us shortly. All right, let's start our evening with prayers. And one of our parents will open for us. Miss Jacinta, come. Thank you. Could we all stand?
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us please stand for prayer. Let's bow our heads. Our Father and our God, we give you thanks, we give you praise, honor, and glory because you are God and worthy to be praised. We thank you for bringing us here this afternoon, whereby we can listen and learn and participate and put whatsoever we have learned into practice so that our children and our community, our country will be a better one. And your name will be praised and glorified. We thank you and we bless you in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much, Miss Jacinta. Okay, there are quite a few people outside. Pardon? You're taking the names, okay. All right, let's just give a couple of minutes just to get people settled. We also have some chairs at the front here. All right, we apologize for the delay. We are just waiting for a few more people to get into the room. Yeah, we apologize for the delay. It's a packed house this evening in St. David's. We are really happy to see so many parents coming out. As we settle with more people coming in the room, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Petal Rush, Permanent Secretary for Social Development and Gender Affairs, Ms. Kinder Debolut, Manager for the SEED program. I think I said your name wrong. Okay, and Ms. Jacqueline Pascal, in Program Support Officer for QSO International. We'd like to acknowledge all the parents who have shown up tonight, both in-house and online, all the staff from the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, who have worked really hard to pull this program together. So why are we here this evening? To put today into context, the United Nations has designated May 15th as the International Day for Families to highlight the importance of families and their role in social development worldwide. So this is not just in Grenada. Across the world, we are recognizing how important families are. So the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, they've put on this program, informational sessions for parents, and they're going from one parish to the next. Last week, we were in St. Patrick's, St. Andrew, St. George. Last night, we were in Guave, St. Mark, and St. John. And tonight, we are in St. David. Give us a big hand of applause for St. David. We are here. And I'm very impressed to see the number of parents who are here with us tonight. So the theme for this series of parenting sessions is called Empowering Families, Building Inclusive Communities. And to start us off this evening, I'd like to call on Ms. Petal Rush, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, to address you.
Good evening, Pomme. Good evening. Thank you. We are breathing. It's really a pleasure to be here this evening. I would like to recognize my colleague, one of the managers, Ms. Kinder de Bellot, the seat manager. Of course, Ms. Kuman, we continue to thank you for your services you provide through Crusoe, as well as Ms. Jacqueline, and of course the team at the ministry, and of course you parents right here at Pomme. We really want to thank you for coming out. As Ms. Kuman indicated, for this year, in commemorations of International Family Day, we thought it important that we as a ministry come out to the community, the parenting unit, to meet with you within your own space to discuss issues that affect you as it relates to parenting. And of course, your role is so important. You are tasked with the role for the future of this nation. So we are here to partner with you to share some insights how to help you improve your parenting skills, as well as how we can help you at the ministry. In addition, just want to make a disclaimer, we're not here to talk down to you, but to have a dialogue, a discussion, how we can collaborate to make parenting a joyful factor, as well as how to ensure that we grow up our children in the right environment. So we are here, we have a team of excellent presenters who will be presenting on a number of aspects that affects you daily as you administer your role as a parent. So thank you for coming, and I look forward to an engaging experience, especially with the presenters. So thank you, and do enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Petal Rush. And I must congratulate the ministry, Ms. Petal Rush, and the Minister of Senator Gloria Ann Thomas. They have also been joining us on these trips. And I think it's so important that they get to meet the parents in the community. You know, we say that happy parents make happy children, and we have a happy life. Let me hear you say that. Happy parents, happy children, happy life. But we know that parenting is a very difficult job. The children didn't come with little labels on them for us to know exactly what we should do with them. We are all discovering them as we go along, and they are discovering us too. So like Ms. Rush said, we are here to have a dialogue with you, to hear your opinions, for you to be a part of the discussion on parenting. So we have 4 presenters tonight. They are experts in the field. They are well recognized for the work that they do, and their heritage serve us. For those of you who are online with us, I would like you to use the comment box to share your thoughts and your feelings. We have staff here who are watching what's going on online. Please like and share so that other parents across Grenada can have access to this live forum. Mikey Live, thank you for being here and airing all of this. Okay, so our first presenter is Miss Dale Neptune, and she will be presenting on the theme, Discipline versus Punishment. She is a community-oriented individual with a strong passion for service. As a matter of fact, last week, she was awarded a special award by the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs for her contributions that she has made to parenting and social development in Grenada. She actively volunteers in various communities across Grenada, bringing her experience and compassion to every initiative. As a certified and trained parenting facilitator and life skills coach with over 18 years of experience, Dale has made a lasting impact. She has worked extensively with families, young adults, and youth in crisis, providing guidance, support, and empowerment through her dedicated efforts. Miss Dale Neptune, welcome.
Lord, all you trying to make people shame. Come, look, I bring water from home.
No, I don't want no water.
Oh, gosh. Come. Look some water.
No, I want water, Mommy. I want biscuit.
Come, put it back. I don't have money. All you watching me for? All you trying to do the same thing. Don't watch me. Come. Listen, all you, I don't get paid yet. Watch them old Marco neighbor watching. All you come. Them Marco neighbor watching. All you making me shame here. I bring the water from.
Biscuit, no, Mommy.
Listen,
I don't want no water.
I bring water from home. Tomorrow when I get paid, I go buy the malt. And look at Miss Mary, she fast. Watch her, she watching. Marco, you know. So Mr. John in the corner, they peeping. All you making me shame. Mr. John, they getting on you ready to go and come, look at all your friends. Look at all your little friends in all your class watching all you. Come. Miss, you go trust me this evening? Give me 2 malts for them children. Give me a sweet drink. Because this children and they're making me shame.
Oh, Mommy, I want a malt, Mommy.
No, the lady don't have malt here and see she don't come. Hello, let me come out here. Come. Let me come out here. Oh, gosh. And watch Miss Dixie and there for she Marco. She trying doing the same thing, you know. But she watching us. Come. Oh gosh. All you making me shame all about the place. When I go in. Come, go on before I put 2 lash in all your damn skin. Get out. Come. Let's go. Move out. Hello, peoples. Did you see your children there? Who children does behave so? Right? We have children behaving like that. And what do you feel to do?
Stop them. Whenever they does that, I feel to slap them very, very hard.
Right? Anybody else? Somebody in the back was saying something. I say I feel to cuff them. You feel to cuff them. Who else? Who else when the children doing, especially when you don't have money?
I feel embarrassed.
Yes, Mommy says she feeling embarrassed.
Well, people tell them I don't have just how.
Why do they cry?
Yeah, they cry. I tell them I don't have. When I have, I give them.
And what's about when the neighbors, you see how them neighbors were just peeping just now, fast. Mr. John all in the corner here peeping, Marco in to go and tell the neighbor, Mr. John, your children used to behave so?
Never had the opportunity children behave like that because they always had a proper training by me. Because if it was me, I show my handman and mark on the buttocks.
I know, but sometimes you want to beat them, but you feeling shame, ain't it? Because you told them, Mommy don't have money today, right? Mommy getting money next week. But as you know, you notice we just coming up the road as they reach in the supermarket, they just run and grab the biscuit. I trying to give them some water. They're talking about malt. How much are malt? Well, how their chest high, so? You understand? They don't want that, right? And so it's very difficult for parents at times to discipline their children. And you know, sometimes people saying, oh, the parents not disciplining their children. Is that true? Yeah. Is that true? When children are acting out like that in public and they want things in the supermarket, is it true that parents are not disciplining them? Sometimes, because parents, you know, majority of parents always speak to their children, right? And I know sometimes you don't speak soft. Mommy heard us speak sometimes.
Rough.
Rough for them, right? Mommy, how you speak to your children sometimes when they acting out like that?
According to their behaviors, if they behave bad, they need a little more oomph on the voice, you know, a little more power.
What is the oof? Mother so-and-so?
No.
Or
no.
F-sharp?
No. You tell them, you know, this is not the correct way to behave in public. You know, you're embarrassing Mommy.
Right?
Yes.
And do you always speak this calmly? No. Right. Do you talk loud for the neighbors to hear? Yes. Do you care about if the neighbors hear? You ain't care one? Right. Because sometimes you are at the brink and you're very frustrated. So when I had my girls small, I used to talk to them, especially like, you know, going on the road, carnival time, Rainbow City time, you know, those times. And your broke is a little $5. So I used to tell them, it's still when we're ready to go back home. Or if I say 7 o'clock and I see in the middle is like 5:30 or 6, I might buy a little ice cream or something to keep them out wet. But then they juking themselves, turning wrong, and they saying everybody could have ice cream, but watch us, we can't have, we more dry. And they getting on, right? Is it their fault? Is it their fault to wish for things? Especially when they see the malt and the, right. So before you leave home, you know, and I know most parents do that, they talk with their children, they say, we don't have money. My mother used to say, I'm feeding you, your belly full, right? I give you sweet water, I give you juice, and your belly full. Hush your mouth when you go down Granville. I don't have money. And don't ask for nothing. So who does tell your children don't ask for nothing?
Well, before I leave home, I make sure I cook, give them things to drink, and make them know before I leave home that I don't have money in my pocket to buy anything to give you, so satisfy home, so when I reach outside, I don't ask for anything.
How many children do you have?
I have 5 children, 5 grandchildren.
Right. So you know, if you go down the road with 5, you have your 5 children and the grandchildren with you, and you know those big ones, when they have children, they're looking at you for something too, you know. Right? Even when they play woman and man and they leave your house, Mommy, you don't have money now on $5. Mommy, you cook? And all these sort of things. So our topic, who remember what Miss said was our topic? Did Miss say what was our topic today? What do you think is our topic from all our little acting and what we say? Respect, discipline versus punishment. All right. Now, think about it when you were growing up. Were you disciplined or were you punished? I want to ask Mommy by here so first.
Punishment, everything.
Everything is, tell us about
Ring
it.
S,
lash in head, box, pull mouth, everything you could think about.
Like mommy get everything?
Yes.
What about mommy by here?
Same thing. Lash, box, all kind of thing.
Lash, box, all kind of thing. But then,
Yes, boy, but that's why they pinch.
as for the pinch,
Pinch
they're ringing you.
Yes.
So parents, younger parents here, what your thoughts? Was this discipline or punishment? Discipline. So who ringing their children still? You see plenty of people ringing their children. What you ringing, their skin or their ears? And you ringing? Do they actually feel that? Hold on. Mommy in the corner, they're sharing.
I given him it hard enough that he could feel it when he done. He's scratching.
So should we continue like mommy here, this generation? I used to get it too, and this thing used to burn you for a long, long time. And when they're giving you, you stamping because, oh gosh, you can't take it. Right?
Because I couldn't stamp out of get more. I had to take it light. Yes, and I'm still living.
Right. So how did you parent your children? How did you discipline your children?
Good.
Did you do the same thing?
No, because I just had to watch them and they understand what I mean.
They get the eyes. So let me ask y'all, when you look at the children these days, are they really obeying the eyes? So we said, so why they're not obeying the eyes now, the facial expression? They know the reaction behind it. So we're noticing that as the generations, as we move into years, we're realizing that there are a lot of changes with children, their behavior, and so on, and it is becoming very difficult for you as parents to manage them and to manage their behaviors. And sometimes you get so frustrated, you can't wait to pell them back in the school the next morning. I don't talk when school give holiday. When school give holiday, what should I tell them?
Summer class. Yeah. Only summer class and no down the road.
Do you have to give them down the road?
You have to punish them, you know. When they do something wrong.
Like what so?
But when you talk to them and they don't obey you, you punish them. If they have like an activity coming up in the school, you're telling them, well, okay, I want you to do that for me. And when the time reach, you're telling them, well, go and bathe. When they bathe, where you going?
Oh God, so you mean you're tricking them children? Who does trick them? Who does that? Mommy, I want you to say something.
There are different...
Okay, let's come back together. Let's have one session so everybody can learn from each other. Okay, let's come back.
I'm just saying that there are different ways to discipline a child.
Yes.
You don't only have to beat them and ring their ears. You could take away their phone, their tablets. If they have an activity like a birthday party or something to attend, a school social, you tell them no, they're not going anywhere. I went through the abusive part of the disciplining. I still have marks to, you know. So sometimes now when my children give trouble, I tend not to go the same route that I myself as a parent went through. I take away stuff from them, you know. I do it in a different way now. But I still do it sometimes, I'm still not a perfect parent.
Yes.
But I'm just saying that there are different ways to discipline a child.
Right. And thank you for sharing. And we also have to remember every child is different. And try not to compare your child with Mr. I keep calling you Mr. John. I just give you a name, you know. What's your name? That Mr. John. Those so you don't see Mr. John's son. He's so neat and tidy, and he doing all the time. They don't know. Maybe Mr. John pinching him in silence inside. They can't even scream out, you know. Right? But in all of that, we have to come back to remember. We have to put the children sit down, and the discipline means what? What do you think? we discuss things with our children, right? I remember even when my mother, I wouldn't even say discuss. She was saying good things to me, but then everything was in one voice. The quarreling, the shouting, and most parents around were doing the same thing. So I guess we thought that was something normal. But as we grew older, we have to break cycles. We have to change how things were done. But now we have the children, they disobey you right in your presence. And we have the little ones now. My little grandson, he's challenging because he asks questions and and so on, and you have to have the answers ready. But you have to discuss with them how things go, right? Sit down and said, okay, the reason why you have to do the chores in the house, why you have to share responsibility, right? I know some parents, they leave home, the dirty wares in the sink, and you come back and you meet it. And what you do? You beat them, and what else? And some of you still going on? Wash it. Is that correct? You going and wash it is correct? Hold on. Let me go across in the corner here. Let me see all who does get vexed and wash the wares. No, I wash. Why you washing the wares? Tell us why you washing the wares.
Because as a parent, I find like that's your duty anyways.
That's your duty? How old are your children?
They're 16 and 19.
Okay. So she said her children is 16 and 19, and it is her duty to wash the wares. Even if, yes, hold on, we come in. Miss Pascal, you forget me?
Well, you have times I would wash it because sometimes when I come from work and I would meet it there, when I come I would say, Leo, whose turn to wash the wares? Mommy, not me, Jairus. Jairus, whose turn to wash the wares? Mommy, not me, Kelly. And where is Kelly? Kelly don't come from school yet, Mommy. He go on football training. So then I cannot wait until Kelly come out from football training, and the other two said it's not their turn. They would not wash it because it's not their turn. So when I realized the chaos is like that, I want to cook, I would wash it.
Yeah, but then after my punishment is that when they decide that you have an event coming up, and they come to mommy that washed the wares today when they didn't want it to wash it, and they want, Mommy, can I have a $20? Mommy, can I have a $30? The answer will be no. And
should they eat?
Sometimes.
Should we give them supper?
Yes, I give them. But I have punishment.
Should we give them the supper in the dirty plate? Should we give them the supper? Wait, y'all listen well, eh? You come out to work tired. Every day you're coming home tired. You're making the breakfast. You're waking up 4:30, making breakfast, making lunch. They're eating their belly full. They're getting lunch to go with. And all they had to do, eat and wash up. When you come back, the dirty wares there. And that happened for 2, 3, 4, 5 months a year. Should you put it in the dirty plate?
Yes, No. Because as a housewife, a single mom, your duty is to clean your house. You understand? With or without children, that's your duty anyways.
So let me give you all a little joke now. But this is true. Now I have 3 girls. Unfortunately, 1 passed. But they used to wait, kind of, and at first they think they're smart. When they think they know are coming, but the kitchen wet, it dampy still. So I know. Right. And every time, as mommy here said, Jairus is this one, not me. I washed it last week, and all of these things. So one day, I cooked, and it's smelling good, eh? And I know they're hungry, eh? I ain't saying nothing. Remove the 2 plates from the sink, and guess what? What I did? Yes, I put the food in there. You think we ever had dirty wares again? After that? What do you think happened after that? Okay, they start washing. Everybody knew their turn after that. Now, you know what the last one said? Big teacher gonna put it on Facebook. She giving she children food in dirty plate. But you know something? I said the people will say, so these big children and them can wash the wares. All conversation about that over. So sometimes we have to do a little gentle punishment, right? I didn't fill up the plate with the food. I said, nobody going in that pot, nobody taking any clean plate, right? And so the next one, we have to structure things, right? So if you say it's 3 o'clock and you have to get up at what time, you have to be consistent and you have to try to stick to it. Now, I know sometimes you're tired because you have to deal with financial things, keeping the house, keeping the children, and everything like that. And then you still have to be like a little police and so on behind them to do things. But consistency of your plan with the children keeps them disciplined. All right? And what you can do, involve them in the business. When you're cooking, you have to make dumpling or whatever, or you have to season, bring them on in, you know? Involve them. So it's a gentle form of discipline. It's called soft discipline, soft parenting. But sometimes you have to show them what it takes. Because, you know, I notice a lot of parents providing things, but they are not telling the children how are these things are coming to being. They always want money for something. Are you showing them the light bill? Are you showing them the water bill? Are you showing them the grocery bill? All of what you have to do? My children always thought I had money, so at a time I say, okay, here are all the bills, this is what I'm working for. Go figure it out. Right? And they say, well, hey, mommy, where you don't have no change there to do nothing? You understand? And then they start to understand how money come and the balancing act. Right? And so you have to do these little things with your children so they're not rebellious and so on. Years ago, I kept my mother in mind, because I see the $25 under the doily and it have harvest. Everybody passing and calling me. I can't go and I find my mother making store, only raising up the doily, the money they still. And she's saying she ain't had no money, but I see the $25. So I thinking she could just give us the $5. In those days, you buy like a cheap and thing in harvest, you know, $1.75. You know, I kept her in mind for a long time. Years, about this $25. And I can't go in harvest. But then you see parents, why you have to explain so that when you discipline your children, they would understand a little bit more about you. Years later, mommy said, girl, I was owing for the rent so much money, I couldn't take out again. So maybe if she had explained that, I would have understand and maybe don't even want to go in the harvest again. You understand? So parents, that's why sometimes children could be rebellious. We have to be consistent with them. And also when things happen, you notice how the children behave in the supermarket earlier. You put them, sit down, and you give them stern warning and tell them you're going to call the police for them, right? You know, just give them little things that they frightened for, but have discussion. Also, you have to play with your children to make connections. So what games do you play with them?
Cards.
Well, I love up my children all the time.
You love them up?
Yes. Rub the head.
Your daughter right here?
Gran.
That's your granny? Yeah. Right. What games used to play with them?
I used to love them up.
Love them up. What games you play with the children?
I doesn't play with them.
You doesn't play with them? Why you don't play with them?
No, I'm honest with you, I doesn't play with them because they're rude. When you speak to them, they give you your attitude, so I don't play with them.
What do you think causing that? What
Some
are the age groups?
11 and 16.
Let's have one session, 11 and 16. Now parents, I just want to stray a little bit. she said they're rude and they have attitude. Remember, children's stage of development. You see, 11, 13, 14, 15, their bodies are changing, their hormones jumping up all over the place. They feel they're invincible. And you know, are looking taller than mommy. Who's she talking to? So it's a crisis phase. But that's another topic there. So also remember to take into consideration the stage of development they are in. And you all have your phone, search Google stage of development of your children, and you can see what children do at what age. So you could kind of better understand and try to get some help. But we can chat after, okay? Who else connect with the children?
Well, I'm a mother of 7 with 1 grand. I have 4 boys and 3 girls, and my boys love playing with me. I don't have time for them to play with my hair. We love playing Monopolies together. I just play marbles. Well, they love marbles. I just play marbles with them, so when we tell them we play phone take, I always try to bring back the old days with them, especially by playing round dove, cocking in the ring. I try to bring back some of the old games that we used to play before, and I always love playing with my kids. My kids love playing with me too as well.
Let's give her a little, and all of you who connect with your children, it is not easy to connect with them at Miss, how are we going? Okay. Also, notice positive behavior in your children, right? I know sometimes we're quick to notice when they are not doing well or they do things that is not pleasing to you as a parent. But however small it is, they wake up earlier today, they came home earlier or something like that, or you notice a change in behavior, or they just did something without you telling them to do it. Encourage them. Say, I noticed you did that today. I encourage you, continue. So keep on, praising them when they do something right and pleasing. All right? Instructing. Don't be afraid to. So when you're instructing, don't cuss them and so on. Look at them at eye level and let them know, okay, we are going to do this thing here. This is what we are going to do, and I would like you to follow. No, it is not always easy, but you have to be consistent. All right, so Miss, you have 5 minutes. Positive punishment involves maybe somebody told me earlier, taking their device, right? So how about having them look at the news? How many of you look at the news in the evening? Information is important. Something that is positive, 7 o'clock. In my house, 7 o'clock, when my children were home, they had to look at the news 7, whether they wanted to do it or not. And then it became a habit that when 7 o'clock come, they just had to be in front of the TV looking at the news, right? Or looking at, That was a long time, I know. But we have to instill that in them, right? We have to continue. Also, children display a lot of undesirable behavior, seek help as well. I know you all say, the neighbor and them, they're too fast in the children's business, in your business. As the teacher, the counselor, the pastor, somebody to assist you or get somebody to speak with them when it is coming, unbearable for you, right? Because sometimes it's not always easy. And sometimes I remember one neighbor saying, before I kill all you here, let me go and get the priest. They don't mean literally kill, but always beaten very badly, all right? So always seek help. And even now in this room, afterward, we have people from the Ministry of Social Development. If you do need help, someone to come to speak with your children, feel free to reach out, all right? So concerning the devices to parents, I just want to say one thing before I wrap up. You too have to put down your device sometimes. You can't be cooking with it in the kitchen. Leave it in the room, right? You're doing things, let them see. So if it's 1 hour home, whether it's 7 to 8 or whatever time, no device hour inside. home, no device. This is a no device hour. So whether you're using it to pray, to eat, to wash, to clean, whatever it is, no device hour, because you are trying to get them, when you want to do gentle punishment, to put down the device. And you yourself is struggling to put it down for yourself, right? So put it on quiet, and so the children get accustomed to that structure. 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock, nobody's on their phone. All right, we are using this time to connect with each other. All right, it's not much time we have today to go into longer, and I see Miss watching me and smiling. I know that signal. So I want to thank you all for sharing. And I hope you said something today that, it sparked something in you. And as I said, seek help if it's overbearing for you. And I am going to be outside, right? And we have other people here that you can reach out to. All right? So enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you for coming out.
Thank you so much, Miss Neptune. Did you enjoy that? Yes, so she talks about positive parenting, positive rewards, not just punishment, and that's really, really important. I'll share a little quick example with you for my own self. I was a single parent, and I raised 4 children. And I remember we reached a point where at the end of the month, the grocery bill was just much more than what I was making. How many of you have felt that you don't have enough money at the end of the month? So what I did is that I gave them to manage the budget. I said, this is how much money you have every time we go in the supermarket. You have to write the list of the things we absolutely must have in the house. So they did it the first time they did it. And you know what the first thing was they took off the list? Juice. I had never realized how expensive juice is. Juice for them to go to school, juice for them to have in the house, juice. And one of the children said, Mom, we don't need juice. Juice has a lot of sugar in it. We are going to drink water instead. And to a day like today, these children are all adults. We don't have juice in our house because one of the high sugar content, but secondly, it reduced our grocery bill by a lot. So I agree with Ms. Neptune when she give them the responsibility, let them help, because children are a lot smarter than we think. When we explain to them, they understand. Do you believe that? Are our children smart? Put your hand up if you think your children are really smart. Right, they can understand. Okay, so I would like to introduce my colleague, Ms. Jacqueline Pascal, who is the In-Program Support Officer with CUSO International, to introduce our next speaker. Go ahead, Ms. Pascal.
Good evening again, Pomme. Great to be here. You can hear me? I'm going to introduce a young lady that I've met in 2015. She was only a young lady when she came up to the steps of the Grenada National Organization of Women. I was working there as the project coordinator, and this young lady, smiling and still smiling, came up because she wanted to be a part of what we were doing at GNL. And it is a great pleasure for me today to introduce her because I've known her since 2015. And so Miss Sabrina Sanderson Plenty, so she added to her name. When I knew her, she was Sabrina Sanderson. Now she added Plenty. Has dedicated nearly 7 years to working with Child Protection Authority, CPA, where she had been a committed advocate for children's rights and the prevention of abuse through education and community outreach. Her dedication extends beyond her professional role, as she had actively participated in numerous youth and social groups and contributed to forums focused on child protection and safety. Her unwavering commitment to advocacy and child welfare continues to make a meaningful impact in her community and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you this evening Mrs. Sabrina Sanderson Plenty.
So good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. I trust that we would have had a great day. I know that for some persons who would have went to school, work, and who have different responsibilities, it's telling and it is very impressive that you took the time off to come here tonight. So I think before I start with anything else, you can all give yourself a round of applause for taking the opportunity to come out here tonight. So tonight, I'm not going to just be here talking, right? But it's really and truly a learning experience, where it is that you can learn from us as the presenters, and we can learn from you. Because parenting is not something that the moment you give birth to a child, you get a manual. Like when you buy a fridge, when you buy a cell phone, when you buy a washing machine, you get a manual. And sometimes we get the manual, but how many of us actually open it and read it? Right? So with parenting, we don't get any of that, right? We are given the task to raise unique human beings. We are given the task to carry and to grow and to groom and to train the future generation. And the success of that future generation depends on us, what we put in. And oftentimes I liken childhood like a sponge. Right? When you have a sponge that is dry, it's light, right? But the moment you start pouring liquid into it, you put soap, you put water, you put so many different things, you see that sponge is very heavy. And when you apply pressure onto that sponge, whatever you put into it, it's what you get out. Right? So this is what parenting is about. It's what you put in is what you get out. So tonight I'm going to speak to us briefly about child abuse. This in itself is a very sensitive topic. And when just at the mention of child abuse, some persons might become withdrawn. Some persons might become defensive. Some persons might be just completely dismissive. I don't wish to talk about it at all. And for some persons, they may have flashbacks, so there are so many different emotions that come about with child abuse. And we know child abuse has been around for ages, right? It's not a new topic, is it? Right. But it has not stopped. And that is where the problem is. It has not stopped. So tonight we're just going to discuss with you what is child abuse, right? And often at the times when we speak about child abuse, most of the times we pay attention to physical abuse, right? Because that is what we can see, right? And when we hear physical abuse, the first thing we jump up to, so look telling me I can't beat my child. Right? So if all tell me I can't beat my child, whenever anything happens and they start to give their attitude, I come in and drop them in front of all you do. Right? But when we speak about physical abuse, we talk about excess, right? And Miss Neptune would have creatively and interactively spoken about discipline. And often we see that there is a thin line between discipline and physical abuse, right? And the most important thing to consider is your intentions. Right? Your intentions and your actions. When it comes to physical abuse and you wish to discipline your children, what exactly is your goal of discipline? What exactly are you trying to do? Because most of the time we have physical abuse cases, it's often as a result of very extreme use of corporal punishment. You plan as your child and as we just say the cutlass, stone and chop them. We pour hot oil on them, we pour hot water on them, and all of those things, well, some of those things happen in a flit of anger, right? So we need to sometimes take a step back, right? So we really have to think, what is the goal of that discipline? Do I really wish to hurt my child? Or is it that I just want the behavior to change? Because isn't that what we want? The behavior to change. But we say, oh, my mother put me in the long and greater, I ain't dead yet. I get lashed from sunrise to sundown. My mother used to spit on the ground and tell me, go by then and get some flour, and by the time I reach back up, make sure the spit ain't dry. So it's like, these are the discipline we know, and I survive it, I come out of it, nothing no do me. We can sometimes even show scars on our skin and say, I remember that year when my mother hit me some tambram whip and he cut my skin. And we use that when we, as a form of threat and lesson to say, you're blessed because I beating you and I doing you all of that, but you don't go through what I go through yet. Right? So it's not about you. Right? These are the things that you went through. Right? And it was not right. Because we survived a lot of the harsh discipline methods and we survived different forms of abuse as children, and we are now adults in charge of raising children, it does not make it right. So when we talk about physical abuse, as I said, we're talking about the scars on the skin. We're talking about the injuries, right? When you have the children and you see that you're constantly slapping the child, there was a situation where it is that this child came to school and you could have seen the 5 fingers on that child's face. So is that discipline or is it abuse? So when you're talking to the child, stop running up and down in the house, stop running up and down in the house, and they're not listening. And you said, okay, you're not listening, no problem. Let me talk to you one more time and I'll go see who is the man of this house, who is the woman of this house. And they run again because isn't that what children do? Right. So then you're in the kitchen and all you know in that fit of anger, you pick up whatever around you and you fling it. Sometimes it's a knife, sometimes it's a pot of hot water. And then after you're running up and down in the hospital, you're running, oh, I don't want nothing happen. But it's really and truly telling. And it shows when the way we discipline our children are also indicators of our unresolved issues as parents. And when we at Child Protection Authority address cases of abuse with children, our goal is not only to focus on the direct victims, the children. Yes, we focus on the children, but as the parents, what is it that you would have gone through? What is it that you have not yet overcome? How can we be of an assistance to you? What are some of the tools that we can equip you with so that when your children come home or your children are exposed to different things, what are some of the things that you can do? Because apart from physical abuse, we have sexual abuse. And we have seen in the newspapers, we have seen on Facebook how those things are rampant, right? Even in our communities, sometimes even in some of our own homes. And when we see those cases and we see those situations, as we say, 7 days, he lasts on the market. And the next market date, a new topic, right? So a new situation happened and it is all forgotten. But as parents, what are some of the signs that you need to look out for when it comes to abuse for your children? Because it's one thing to say, as parents, you have a right to protect your children. But what are you protecting them from? What are some of the signs? What are some of the things that you look out for? When it comes to sexual abuse, it varies based on age. So when we're speaking of the infant stage and the toddlers in preschool, right? These are the stage where it is that children, it's like they feel they're big. They want to learn to bathe themselves. Sometimes they want to do things because children basically learn by imitation. What they see the parents and the adults around them doing, they will always try to show initiative, right? If you're there and you're putting on your lipstick, and your daughter doesn't want to come and say she's putting on lipstick too, when daddy outside cleaning, the son is just always around. And sometimes we say, but let me do my thing. You just come in and make a mess here. Move. But they want to be part of what you're doing. And it shows that they are watching you. So some of the signs that we have to look out for, especially with the infancy stage, when it comes to sexual abuse, we have to pay a lot to behavior. Some of the times, children around these ages don't speak. they may not come out and say, Mommy, this is what's happening to me. And sometimes their speech is not even properly developed to come and say those things. So you have to be mindful. What is the personality of my child? Is my child usually a bubbly child? And then all of a sudden you notice that she don't want to play. The things that she was interested in, she's no longer interested in that. And this happened on all different stages, Because it's not, the signs and the symptoms are not just fixed to a particular person or to a particular stage, because different persons respond to things differently. So as much as the situations and the circumstances may bear some similarities, they are all different, right? So when we speak about sexual abuse, we're also speaking, when we look at the teenagers and those who are in the pre-adolescent stage, these are the stage where it is that they're forming their identity. They want to explore the world. They're really trying to see, who am I? I'm trying to find my place. And often at the times there are predators out there. And we look outside for the predators. But statistics have shown over and over, and we have grown up in communities where it is that we have seen it's the cousin, it's the brother. Who are the persons we see? Exactly. Do we see persons all the way from America coming here and abusing? And it happens, but is it? Exactly. So it shows that we have to be mindful and we have to be watchful in our own homes. We have to be very vigilant. We have to be very vigilant. When we look at the devices that the children use, how many of your children have electronic devices? How many of those devices have passwords on it? And to some, especially the teenagers that have the password, how many of the parents know the password? And that can be very telling, because I know sometimes at that age there is a need for privacy. But privacy has its limitations. Because with parenting, as much as you would like to have a close relationship with your children, there should still be a differentiation between the parenting and friendship, besties, right? So as we move on from sexual abuse, let us talk about financial abuse. How many persons believe that they can financially abuse their children? Exactly. Because it's like, I'm the person working, right? I'm making the money, right? I bring in the money, so how on earth am I financially abusing you? But let us look at it in the context of the education. How many of your children will come home and say, Mommy, I have a project to do and we had to buy a Bristol board. We had to, we have a science project and the teacher say we have to get some kidney beans. I don't know when last I see kidney beans, so I must go and take my money and go in supermarket and buy kidney beans just for you to get 2 grain. And who eating it after? When they have their projects at secondary school level and they have their practicals for food and nutrition and different things that comes up in the school, and you have the money, because we do know that sometimes there are cases that you really don't have. But in the situations where it is that you have and you willingly withhold the finances from the children just because I am the parent and it's my money. Even in cases where it is that that some parents would use their children to go to other persons for money. You know Mr. John have a reputation. You know Mr. John is not a trustworthy man. You know there are some things about Mr. John that you yourself are not comfortable with. So why is it that 5:30 in the morning you're waking up your daughter to go by Mr. John before the neighbors come up and ask him for $5 to go to school? Who should be going to ask Mr. John for money if there is ever a need to go for money? Exactly. So we have to look at those things. As I said, parenting is not a manual. And when it comes to abuse and when it comes to neglect, when it comes to abandonment and all those challenges that children have to go through, we have to look into ourselves. And we have to tap into the help, because it takes a village. I know now everybody turning their head. Me, I don't bother with Sheena because she don't have no reasoning for she children. I ain't going up there and tell her nothing, because anybody go and tell her anything, she opening she mouth, and she giving all she children all the rights. So oftentimes we see things and we say we're minding with business. We say we mind with business, and then when situations get out of control or it affects us and our home, we want everybody to come. We want the community to come out. We want the support from people. And that is where we need to go back to some of the ways that parenting was done before. It takes a village, and that is why different services are available. And often at the times when it comes to trust, and that is something with social work and the police and so many different things. When it comes to trust and tapping into the service, a lot of people do have barriers. How many persons are 100% comfortable reaching out to the social workers and some of the police officers and persons to say, this is what is going on in my home? And many of us are not comfortable because we think, oh, as I come inside and say my business, you're reaching out before I reach out the door. Or they're not confidential, or they don't care, or the things that I want, I'm going to report to them how much time, and nothing ain't happening. So we see those things, and it takes conversation. Because as much as it may be difficult, I know for sure that there must be at least one person, because no one is perfect, but there must be at least one person that you can say, okay, well, my child teacher, although she may not really know much, but she does always show interest. When he don't go to school, she always asking for him. She always saying, you know, she always giving feedback. So maybe she look like she have a nice interest. And that is how you can show that, you can know that people care. You look for persons that are showing interest. You may not trust none of the police officers, but you may go to that teacher, you may go to that pastor, you may go to that person in the community, that social worker that, you know what, well, I listened to a presentation before and I hear you, so let me try to see how I could get in contact with her. Because the goal at the end of the day is to see how it is that we can help stop child abuse and what are some of the things that we can do to prevent it. So it's not just about stopping abuse. It's not just about knowing the signs of abuse. It's not just about knowing where to go to report it to Child Protection Authority, to the Ministry of Social Development, to the police, to different places. No. What can I do as a parent? What can I do as a brother? What can I do as a sister, as a community member? What role can I play to ensure that when I see those things happening, I don't just wait for 3 months after and the child don't go into school, and then I come in and say, I thought as much, she pregnant in truth. No. If we are seeing the signs, we need to speak out now. And even though we may say, well, I don't want my name to call, you can call and you can make the report, and you don't, there is no obligation when making reports that you need to leave your name. You can just say a concerned citizen, you can just say, you can just tell the person straight up, I do not wish to leave my name. But the most important thing is the action that you take to ensure that you, one, help prevent an abuse from occurring, and how you can intervene to stop your children or your children's friends and society from actually being abused. So I thank you for listening. As I said, I was not going to be long. Very short and brief. Thank you for listening, and I do hope that all that is poured out here tonight and all that we receive, that it would not just end here, but we would actually put what we learned tonight to the task, and we will go out there to make a positive impact. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for Miss Plenty. So she ended with a very good note. What are we going to do? Can you see this poster here? What does it say? Madam, you like to read it?
Stop child sexual abuse, and I'm not seeing it. I have short side. Shatter the silence. Do not cover up the abuse. Report the abuse and show support for the victim.
Thank you very much. And at the top it says, where is your conscience? Where is it? Mikey, our online people can see this? And online viewers, We're inviting you to this space. And so, Mikey, how many people we have looking? $1,100. Yes, the day before we had 30,000, and the day before that, 27,000. So people are listening and taking note. So don't forget to write your comments. So where is your conscience? This, what our last speaker spoke about, is very serious. This cases going to the assizes in any given time in Grenada is very high, higher than murder, very high. Sexual abuse cases in Grenada is really out of the roof. So where is your conscience? Please report. Thank you very much. And also too, besides you can go where to report, the law is on your side. We have laws, a lot of laws in Grenada. And I think you need to give the government a round of applause for really enforcing the law. So you have the Domestic Violence Act. We have amendment to the Criminal Code which speaks to sexual assault. So please remember that. The next speaker to this evening, is Miss Colette Jeffries. Miss Colette Jeffries is a well-trained, experienced, and certified parenting facilitator. She has been with the Ministry of Social Development and Gender Affairs for the past 13 years to 14 years. She brings to the table a wealth of experience, having facilitated several parenting cycles in various parts of Grenada over the years. She is a dynamic speaker and one who brings positive motivation to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, could you just welcome Miss Paulette as she comes? Talk about dynamism on wheels.
Okay, thank you very much. Good night, everyone. Happy to have you all. Happy to see you all here tonight. I see a few men, so it's safe to say ladies and gentlemen. Yes, safe to say ladies and gentlemen. I trust that you all had a good day today. Find everybody there in a little cozy, kind of little corner. Everybody had a good day today? Let's just pretend for a few minutes that we're, here is Pomerose. Is it? Pomerose? Let's just pretend for a few minutes that we're on the block in Pomerose. Mommy? So mommy watching me, Granny? You in there on the block vibes? Let's just pretend for a while that we are on the block in Pomerose. And we know block vibes. I know block vibes, not because I'm well dressed here. I know about the block vibes, yes? And imagine somebody just step up, come on the block and say, y'all, let me show y'all a shot now. Am I making sense? And I block language? Let me show y'all a shot now. Or let me show y'all our vibes. So we're on the block and I want to show y'all our vibes tonight. About 13 to 15 years ago, I was involved in a group and we got some information about a parenting session. So a couple of us decide, well, why not try it? Yes? We decide, well, yeah, I'm seeing some nod. We decide we're going to try the vibes. So we were on board. We found out about the time. Of course, it was the Ministry of Social Development that was having the parenting session. We found out about the time and whatever we needed to do and so on. They had an entire cycle. So actually, we had a 10-day cycle. The group, we participated. We follow instructions. The place, time, everything. One of the facilitators that facilitated us, I'm telling you about 13 to 15 years ago, was Miss Dale Neptune, the first speaker. So at the time, Miss Neptune facilitated me, Colette, in that parenting class. You all reading me? You're getting the vibes. She was one of the facilitators. Well, after that, we had graduation, vibes rolling nice. We 10 cycle, we get a little certificate and so on. Please bear in mind, I do not want to tell you all about the educational part in the sense that whatever certificate or diploma that we receive, I want to tell you all how eager we was as a group to participate in the parenting sessions. Yes? Am I making sense? Because we vibes in on the block and I'm seeing people nodding. So we champion, we work together, and they came and they facilitated on the behalf of the Ministry of Social Development. After a little while, I'll tell you all after, I as an individual recognized that I was more empowered to operate within my capacity as a parent. I became stronger. I feel that I was more prepared to deal with the several parenting issues and successes, challenges, the ups and the downs that take place when we are fostering our sons and daughters. Because I was on board, and she and the others, they facilitated us, and we learned. About 2 years after, Miss Neptune called me. She didn't know me, she get to know me, just like I'm facilitating you all tonight. So we vibes in. And she said, Colette, you heard that T.A. Marisho Community College is offering such and such whatever education in parenting facilitation? I said, really? She said, yes. And Miss Neptune go on, she said, Colette, I believe you should try to sign up for it. You will become a good facilitator. Well, today I'm pausing to say I'm an excellent facilitator. I just paused to say this. I'm an excellent facilitator. So remember, we still vibes in. Y'all with me? We vibes in. Y'all? When I went to TAMCC, I followed the young lady instructions. We know Bonify. She just saw some strengths in me and she pinpointed. When I went, so let's use Mikey. For example, we're using the negative here. Challenges, money, it was a challenge. Time, a challenge. Because I have plenty children. Them my children and them here. Plenty children I have. That's the last set. I know if I'm making more after these. Right? So, by Mikey, when we look at Mikey, we're seeing time, challenge, money, challenge, and so on. When we look to our other, what's his name, Mikey? John? Sorry? George. Mikey, that's my dad's name, you know. So by George here now, George signifies the successes. So when I went to T.A. Marisho Community College, time was a factor. Finances was a factor. We're talking about challenges, hiccups. When I go up to by George's side now, we get some good results. I was able to enroll. I was able to master the thing. And the story will go on, and I will tell you all the rest of the story after. We go meet on the block for real, and I'm going to share the rest of the story. Y'all eager to know? I'm going to share the rest of the story. So I had some hiccups here, and still I had some good times over there. And Miss Neptune pushed me. Actually, out of the entire class for that year, myself and another young lady was the youngest. But let me give you all a joke, remember, on the block. When I was almost to graduate, the pressure started getting ripe. Pressure, Mikey, pressure. And I sat in a class one evening. And when the pressure hit me so, y'all guess what I did? We having fun, we on the block. I had a week. I fly out a week. Online viewers are hard and a week, the pressure take me. And I take it off. Here I am today. Hello. The story will go on and on because I'm still in the making process. This product is not finished yet. I'm still making. Right? And Miss Neptune drove me through it. And here I am today. Lastly, on this part, I offered myself to do parenting classes free. I was so eager, so thirsty, that I decided, no, you don't have to pay me. I'll come to that group, wherever, in this community, wherever. Am I making sense? To offer my help so that we can be on board together. This is why I never mention whatever I got from TAMCC. I never mention whatever grade we got from the group. It's not about education. Parents, it is about empowering yourselves. Parents, Pomerose, ladies and gentlemen, it's not about the education part. Empowering is part of education. But I'm not here to boast, to talk about a degree or a this. I'm here to tell you how you can be on board to empower yourself. Am I making sense? So we move away from the block now. And we come to the school here now to get empowered. So block vibes done. We don't drink up and cook up and thing. And we freshen up, we say, we nothing. And we here tonight to be empowered. Parents, if you ain't take home one from this tonight, take home this. You have to empower yourself as fathers and mothers, educators, aunts and uncles, cousins and sisters, ministry official, whomever. You have to empower yourself as parents. And we hear courses all over, offering in this, and in this, and in this. How many of y'all here has ever heard about the National Parenting Program, whereby you can empower yourself to operate within the capacity as a parent to be the best mom, the best dad, the best aunt, the best community member? How many of y'all tonight can actually tap your back? I could do it. To say, yes, I have empowered myself for the last 3 years, and I am ready now to do this with all my might. If you have done it for the last 3 years, 4 years, from yesterday, just give yourself a little kiss. That's it. That's it. Because who will feel the effect? Our sons and daughters. They are feeling the effect. It's not us. They are feeling the effect. So when we empower ourselves as mothers and fathers, as caregivers, as educators, and I could actually hear somebody saying, oh, well, I don't have children. I could actually, oh, thank God, it's 2 nieces I have. And you see me, men nowadays, I ain't making no children. Hello? The community of Pomerose is responsible for the upbringing of these children. And thus, as a result, all of us must be on board. Tonight is an all-man on board effect to help us to empower ourselves as grandparents and aunts and uncles to make this a better Pomerose. Are you on board with me tonight? We have to empower ourselves. Mothers, how do you empower yourself to foster your sons and daughters so that we can effectively act within that capacity as parents? Just answer to yourself tonight. How in the past 10 months, 6 years, how many children you have? 7. How? Ask yourself that question tonight. In what way can I, me, Colette, Samantha, sir, whosoever, empower myself to operate effectively within the capacity as a parent? Before I leave tonight, I charge you with the responsibility. When we empower ourselves, because you might be saying, Mrs. Charles came here tonight and she spoke about empowering so that we can operate effectively within our capacity. And you might be asking yourself, when I empower myself, what are the results? Hello? The first night, we've been to River Sally. And because I was charged with the responsibility to do healthy and unhealthy relationship, this is what we're doing. When we empower ourselves as parents, our relationship with our sons and daughters become healthy. Am I making sense? If you don't empower yourself and you decide you don't want to go up to the time, you will not have no strength to operate within your capacity as a parent. So at River Sally last Monday, I encouraged the parents there to use their 5 senses to make the relationship a healthy one with their sons and their daughters. I'm telling you tonight at Pomme, I'm transferring the knowledge. Use the 5 senses so that when you empower your sons and daughters, you will be able to see, feel, hear. You're able to smell them. You're able to speak to them because you are now a very empowered parent. We went to a different community in Willis and I spoke to the parents there about trust. I said to them, in order for our relationship to be healthy as mothers and fathers, our children must be able to trust us. Tonight, when you empower yourself, your sons and daughters are able to trust you. Am I making sense? Last night, we spoke a bit. What I did last night we were at Guave. And we spoke, well, in an open space, but yet for all, we spoke about how we can relate to our children. And so in a healthy capacity so that you can empower yourself as mothers and fathers. And at Moncton, we spoke, I encouraged the parents there, because of a healthy relationship, how can we solve conflict in a good manner? All these that I just mentioned, with empowerment to make it 5, this will work for all of us at Pomme. It will work for this setting. You listen to your children. You actively listen to them. You empower yourself so that you can be on board. You and you and you and you, all of us are on board. Because we are able to trust them and they are able to trust us. When you empower yourself, you are able to open yourself within that capacity as a parent and operate effectively. Time is not sufficient. Go tonight listening. Listening, being watchful. Be a prayer warrior tonight and ask yourself, how me, grandma, pretty, sexy, how can we empower ourselves as mothers and fathers, caregivers, educators, ministry officials, Mikey and George, all of us in here. Let us ask ourselves silently, how can me, Colette, still continue to empower myself as a young woman, as a mother, so that I can operate effectively within my parenting circle? Ladies and gentlemen, I charge you with the responsibility. Pray for your children. Be on top of the parenting game. You are in charge. They're looking at us. They're depending upon us. They look at how we model ourselves. They look at how we dress. They look at vibes. They look at us. Am I making sense? And they are waiting on us to go so that they can follow. How are you? There is nothing tonight as young people making children. So when we go make children, when we old, when we are 65, from 68 or 70, furthermore from 80 and up is kind of old. When you have 60 years, you just start to live. 65, well, you know start self. Young parenting is no excuse. Oh, I'm a single parent. No excuse. He don't foster the children. I have to bring him up from, and it's not my business. I ain't care. No excuse. Oh, I dropped out at secondary school. I didn't make it. No excuse. The ministry must have more of these programs. No excuse. You are charged with the responsibility tonight, each and every one of us, to empower yourself so that you can operate effectively within your capacity as mothers and fathers. In closing, when we operate and empower ourselves effectively, our sons and daughters will run into conflict less. And even if conflict is healthy and unhealthy, they will know how to solve conflict in the right way. When we empower ourselves as mothers and fathers and caregivers, our sons and daughters will run into conflict very less. When we empower ourselves, we should have less teenage pregnancy, less sexual abuse. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. When we empower ourselves and we are on board with our sons and daughters, we pray and we are able to discern, there will be less, very less of these things, the negative that interfere with them. So all of the negative tonight that we pinpointed on Mikey's side, we are transferring it tonight. Oh, I don't have time. Give yourself time. Oh, I have sufficient finances. Get money. We could make this. We could make it happen. Hello? Am I making sense? We have to make this happen to make Grenada a better place. So right now, together, stretch forth your arms to Mikey. He had some of the negative. Stretch forth your arms, parents. He had we had financial struggles. Time was an issue, all of this. We stretch forth in our hand, and in the name of Jesus, we transfer in everything to George. And George will transfer it to positivity. Hello, we call success. Hello, you want your children to graduate from university. Hello, you want your children to be at the right place at the right time. Baby putting up she hand. So tonight we're leaning on George. Yes, that is our success story. Right, we're leaning on him. This is our success story so that we are able to be the best. Hey, what I call George name for? Y'all, let me just end this. So we can be the best mothers and fathers, caregivers, educators ever. Tap into the Ministry of Social Development. If you all want a parenting cycle, not if, we're charging you. Parenting cycle, one-off sessions, we are there. When we come to your rescue, we are able, we are charged, we are capable. We are experts. I'm making a boast tonight. We have loads of topics. Discipline versus punishment, stress management, resilience and finances, how to make your self-esteem up there, how to teach your children. Varying topics that we are able to give unto you, lend unto you, and together we are able to empower ourselves. As I leave tonight, I give God thanks that I'm able to sow another seed into Pomme tonight. And with the count of 3, we will say we can empower ourselves together. You already remember we back to the block vibes. So we're making some noise on the block. So after 3, we will say we will empower Pomme together. Y'all on board with me? Let's go. 2, 3. Last time, I need to go. Y'all keeping me back. 2, 3. So for the online viewers, I was just telling them to say, we can empower Pomme together. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Jeffrey. Isn't she just dynamic? Isn't she just dynamic?
Somebody was just saying that it's not Pomme alone. So we will empower St. David's too. What's the matter with y'all? Let's do it. 2, 3. We will empower St. David's together.
Well, because this is going live online all across Grenada, I think we need to say, we will empower all parents in Grenada. Yes. And this is what the Ministry of Social and Community Development is doing by bringing all that information to all households in Grenada, because we are a stronger country when families are empowered, they feel strong, they have the resources, they have the tools, they have the knowledge for them to be able to care for their children. Now, parents, before we bring the next speaker, I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Just close your eyes, trust me. Close your eyes. Let's just do a quick moment of reflection here. Close your eyes. I know, just listen to my voice for a couple minutes here. Think of yourself as a parent. Think of how hard or how easy that journey has been for you. You too became a parent and maybe you were not prepared. You didn't have the skills or the tools, the training. I want you to give yourself a hug and thank yourself for doing the best that you have been able to do. It may not have always been the right thing, but you know what? You've been doing your best with the tools that you have. Give yourself a hug now. Just hug yourself. Be proud of you. Be proud of you, the parent. Now, with your eyes still closed, I want you to see all your children in front of you. I want you to forgive yourself for anything that you may have done wrong with them. Any moments when maybe you have lost your temper, you shouted at them, you didn't listen to what they had to say, you ignored them, you saw the danger but you didn't do anything. Because to each one of your children tonight in your own heart, I want you to let them know that you love them, that you care about them. And moving forward, that as you empower yourself, you will also find new ways to build healthy relationships with them and to love them in a way that helps them become responsible for their own lives and to be empowered as well. So in your mind's eye, I want you to hug each one of your children. Just hug them. Okay, you can open your eyes now. I know we all, if you love your kids, put your hand up. Let me see you. Okay, amazing. We all love our children and we all want the very best for them. Now I have the pleasure of bringing on our last speaker for this evening, Mr. Andy Matthew. Andy? Right, so Mr. Andy Matthew is going to be discussing a topic with you called parenting in the electronic era. He has been working as a social worker for 20 years, for over 20 years. He's worked with young people in conflict and the law. He spent time working in England before moving back to Grenada. He has worked at the Bacolet Juvenile Center for 7 years before moving to his current job at HYPE. Mr. Matthew, welcome. Let's welcome him.
Thank you, thank you. Good night, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the session so far. Was it informative? Did you learn tonight? Yes, good, good. So I'm just going to start with a little something like an icebreaker. It's some puzzles I want you to answer, just to kind of like relax and have some fun together, okay? So I'm going to show you some puzzles. It can be a phrase, it can be an occupation, it could be a singer, it could be anything. So my first one, it has a word in the middle and then another word around the word, okay? So you can see the word in the middle, everyone? What's the word in the middle? Okay, so this one is a phrase, and I can say Grenada is known. Say that again? All around the world. You get it? All right, so let's do the next one. Your son and daughter might just choose this profession. Engineer, okay? Not sure if you're into music, but a famous singer, Cardi B. This one may be a little bit more difficult. So we check the number of words, how many times this word is repeated. And then in front we have a letter and we're paying attention to the color of the letter. So, what color? And what is the letter? So, red. Aye. You are ready for anything. So this last one, this is your place. So, tell me what you see. Huh? No, go on, tell me. It's a famous person in Grenada. Deacon Mitchell. your rep. Okay? So that's all I have. But tonight I'm tasked with talking about parenting in the electronic age. Yeah? And how things has changed as a parent. I mean, probably for us who was older, we didn't have to deal with all these tablets and phones and all these, gadgets. But nowadays, we have all this to deal with. So can you tell me some of the platforms that's out there and some of the platforms that you use? What kind of platforms you use out there on your devices? Facebook, WhatsApp, Messenger, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, yeah? And it's not just you as parents using that. Some of the children are well aware and they even know more about these little apps than we do. There's things that they show me on these apps and I think, well, I never know that. Okay? Now, in saying that, although all these apps can help us to communicate and, talk to our loved ones, whether it's near or far, and it has a lot of good to it, there's also some dangers as parents that we need to be aware of. Okay? For instance, there's the Snapchat that you mentioned. The message disappears very quickly. So if your son or daughter is chatting to somebody on there, by the time you go on to there is no messages. So you don't know what the conversation is about. You don't know. For me, that is a red flag and danger. Okay? If you're unable to actually monitor what your child is doing on there, it is a red flag. At times, we leave our children just playing with the tablets or with the phone. I don't know if sometimes you notice there's pop-up ads coming up. You might go onto the site and then something just pop up. Well, nowadays, there's animation with sexual acts going on, I've noticed. You might not be seeing that. Your child could click on that innocently and be exposed to exactly. Okay? So as parents, we need to be aware and vigilant and check our devices regularly. Do you ban YouTube on their devices for your children? Is there a password so they can't access it? So that means they could go on there and see whatever. At the history? Uh-huh.
You go on history on YouTube and you're seeing everything they watch during the course at the time they have.
Indeed, and that's very important. You can go onto history on YouTube and see what they've been looking at. So therefore, you have an idea and you could sit and have the conversation with your children about the dangers. I don't know if anyone saw a program that they have in America called Catfish. Catfish, you seen that? So you know what Catfish is about. Catfish is basically, I might not feel comfortable with the way that I look, so I'll take a picture of somebody I believe is more handsome than me, and I put up that profile. So then anybody who's looking at it will see the person that I'm putting there, but it's not really me. This same thing could happen with your child. Some big man or big woman could put a picture of a child, same age as your child from the same school, and your child innocently speaking to this person, but it's not who is actually in the profile. And you don't know what these children are being exposed to. As previous people who were speaking talked about, the abuse, sexual abuse, and all this is rampant. You know, I work with young people, young ladies who are involved with older guys, 15, 16. We have a problem with the busmen in terms of, it's blatant. The conductors and the busmen having issues with the young ladies who come in on the bus and interfering with them, and treating them a certain way. So we must be careful. We have to be vigilant. We have to start sitting with our children when they're sitting in the room, or you cooking food and they doing their thing on the tablet. Just step in and talk and see what they're doing. Don't just leave them because they're quiet and you think, you know what, at least I get in a break. They're not talking in my head. They're not doing this. Yes, but they might be talking to somebody else. And what they're talking to them about might not be what you want them to be talking about. So it's important, I'm going to stress it again, that we as parents pay attention to what our children are going onto the internet and looking at. We don't want to regret. What they say, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Every day, all day. Okay? So if we do put the preventative methods in place, then hopefully we can reduce the chance of our children being abused in the future, innocently. And we feel so bad because you know what? We're thinking, oh gosh, they're in our house, they're good, they're safe, nobody's bothering them. But people are. We have another thing called cyberbullying. So you might have your son or daughter who doesn't really like to go out and play, and you happy because on the street there's fight, there's this, there's argument. So you say, don't worry, you give him a little tablet in the safety of your house. And he's on there doing his thing. And some little person decide he don't like him. Why? Because he had tablet and he think he nice, he doesn't come out and play, and he mother think they're better than us. You know, all these reasons. And they start picking on your child constantly. In a night, they get 50 messages. Cussing their mother, cussing their brother, cussing their sister, threatening them. As soon as you come out, I go beat you up. As soon as I see, we have these things going on. So we as parents need to pay attention to what our children are doing. Sit down in a room with them, look at Instagram with them. You mightn't like what they're looking at, but you see what they're looking at. Then maybe you can have the conversation and guide them as to something else they should be looking at. The time we spend on YouTube or Facebook just browsing through, we could do the same thing and get these games to sit and play with your children. Make it child-friendly. An interactive family game. Instead of you spending half an hour on everybody on a separate device, you just pull this out. 10 of them. All night, all you're laughing because sometimes the answers you get, you think, oh gosh, how I come up with that? You know? So these are the things we need to start thinking outside of the box. Don't just accept. What you say? Follow the lead like a sheep. No, make noise like goat. If you're dying, make noise. Don't just take your death like a sheep. Make noise and try and make things better for your children. Okay? So I'm not going to go any further tonight. I'm just going to touch to just try and get you start thinking about what you are doing with your children and what you're allowing them to do in their own time. Monitor, monitor, monitor. Thank you very much. Have a blessed night.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matthew. Can I ask you, if you had to give parents one main tip for children, let us look at teenagers, for example, in terms of the use of electronic devices, something that the parents should be very aware of what the child is doing, what would that be?
One tip. It's the same thing. Just monitor. So the monitoring is basically going onto the history of the device. So you see exactly where they go. You follow their trail, their footprints. If you don't know, there's a search bar. You could put history, and it comes up and tell you what history is about, okay? So whether you're on Google, you're on Facebook, whatever it's, not Facebook, sorry, Google or YouTube or something like that, you can go check your the history. I know some of the children are quite savvy, and they know how to delete the history as well. We are growing up some very intelligent, computer-age children is not a joke expression. I was on the bus a couple weeks ago, and this baby started crying, smaller than your baby, and the mother had a tablet and gave the baby the I'm sorry. And the baby started swiping. Swipe. I mean, that amazed me because the baby was a couple months old. So it shows how intelligent our children are. And things they think that they don't really see, they do. So monitor the history on your devices. Block some of the sites that you think is not what you want your children to go on to. And keep monitoring.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Big hand of applause to Mr. Matthew. So as we come to the end of our program, I have just a couple of little activities for you. Can you read what's written on my T-shirt here? Come on, you can do better than that. Read the whole thing. One people, one journey, one Grenadian family. And Miss Jeffrey's words really touched me because we are not raising our children just for us. Our children all belong to us. And therefore, we need to be vigilant. We need to be empowered to be able to support each other in the community in raising our children. Are our children ours? The children here belongs to whom? All of us, okay? The children belong to all of us. So, what did you learn tonight? Let's hear from a few of you. What are you living with? You spent 2 hours with us. You came out here. Anything will stay in your mind? I want to hear from you, or else all of us are sitting here for the rest of the night. What did you learn tonight?
Try to be a better parent. But how will you do that? Well, putting your children sit down and talk to them about, the basic things. That will help us to be a better parent.
That's really important, she said. Putting our children to sit down and speaking to them about the basic thing. That helps us to be a better parent. That's one tip. We were looking for 5 tips. Somebody else. What are you living
Let me see what I could say. Well, teaching them the right things to do all times. Well, as I say, I can't just get to the point, but I understand everything will go on tonight, but I just can't get to the right point.
So you think about it. She's saying teaching them to do the right things all the time. What are you living with tonight? I'm coming to you.
Okay, to empower ourselves. To empower ourselves.
And how are you going to do that?
And not only empowering ourselves, I learned that there is this thing on the phone where you could go to get history, to check the devices and all that. I find that's very thoughtful.
Okay, she said to empower herself, and now she knows she can go on the device to find the history of what the child is using on the device. Okay, so we have 3 points. Let's look for 2 more points. 2 more things you're living with here. Okay.
What I learned tonight is how to stop child abuse, which is very important. Well, I don't normally beat my kids, but there are many different ways to stop child abuse. I never knew, like, if you box a child before and the fingers stay on the face, it's abuse, but now I know. So I learned how to avoid child abuse. Most times, I know kids will get you on your nerves and you would do all sorts of weird stuff, but I know definitely it's wrong to put mark on children's skin. As they get older, it will be a scar, and they don't like to see that. So what I do, I will spank my children with a belt, things that would not put scar on the skin, because I don't like scar on my skin as well. So I would try not to do the same, and I hope that every parent in here would try to do the same. Okay?
All right, thank you very much. So she's saying that she learned more about child abuse, and she is going to take action not to abuse her children. Okay, one more lesson. What? Hey, come, here you are.
Good night again to everybody. What I learned about
What I learned here tonight is that what I'm doing as a mother, I might not be as perfect, but I learned that I'm doing a good job so far by having a routine for my boys. I have 4 boys. The big one is 16 and one is 13. The rest is toddlers. So actually I have a routine in the morning. The big one go to Nulo, he get up. They have a time for where's that, you say, give them the little response. So I know that's one job I'm doing very well. So I should continue doing that. One thing is that I just talk a little loud and shout, so actually, no, I have to calm down on that one a little. So these are some things that I learned then. Thank you.
Okay, so we know we are not perfect parents, but what's important is that every day we try to be better at it by empowering ourselves, by building healthy relationships with our kids, by being aware of what they are doing on social media and on their phones, and by reinforcing positive behavior, which Ms. Dale Neptune spoke about. So parents, was it worth your time being here tonight? Did you enjoy being here? Yes? Would you like to have more of these sessions? Yes, all right. So we are now at the end of our session, and I would like to call on Miss Sanderson to give the final thank you.
A pleasant good night to everyone. How we are feeling today? Happy, ain't it? Yes. Okay. My name is Merlin Sanderson, and I am a parenting facilitator. As William Arthur Ward once says, and I quote, "Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it." Senator the Honorable Gloria Ann Thomas, Minister of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, we extend sincere gratitude for your inspiring speech and unwavering support. Permanent Secretary, Ms. Petal Rush, with responsibility for social and community development and gender affairs, a heartfelt thank you for your words of encouragement and support. Ms. Magdalene Kuhlman, our moderator, we highly appreciate the time you took out of your busy schedule to join us in all of our events, sharing your insights and expertise with us. We also like to acknowledge Ms. Jacqueline Pascal, for a job well done and moderating last night and tonight. Thanks to Ms. Tamisha Nicholas, who blessed our hearts with the opening prayer every night. My parenting colleagues, a special thank you for your hard work, dedication, and being present every night so this event can be a success. To other ministry officials and staff, we commend you for your hard work, support, and dedication also, especially our drivers who take us here safely and back home every night. Not forgetting our participants and our online viewers. Thank you for your participation. May God continue to bless you. To our facilitators, we thank you tremendously. You will educate, inform, empower, and motivate us, and we greatly appreciate it. The Grenada Council of the Disabled, thank you for collaborating and supporting the parenting unit. Mikey Light and his team, we greatly appreciate your hard work and dedication for advertising and streaming our sessions nightly. To persons who work in the back in helping the parenting unit event be successful, a heartfelt thank you as well. Thanks again and a blessed night to everyone. Reach home safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Anderson. I cannot leave without also acknowledging and letting you know that the minister, Senator Honorable Gloria Ann Thomas really wanted to be here tonight. She sends her greetings. She unfortunately just could not be here tonight. Okay, so I wanted to say that. So we have ended our evening. I'd like you to spend a little time, maybe just socialize a little bit, get to know each other, talk, say something to each other, and we are going to say goodbye to our online audience, hoping that you too enjoyed today's event. Bye.